We've heard that industrial-grade chemicals called PFAs are dangerous to humans. Now these forever chemicals have made their way into household pets. That's according to researchers with the New York State Department of Health. One veterinarian we spoke with says that PFAs have been known to cause cancer and liver disease.
The problem is we don't know. Safe levels have not been established. And so we're in our infancy on this toxin. But I think that we need to pay attention to it. It's everywhere.
The use of forever chemicals has declined in recent years, but they're still in things like nonstick cookware, clothing, and firefighting foam. PFAs have also been found in drinking water across the country, but filtration can help.
Normal things that break things down in the environment don't break these down. And it looks like they might persist in the environment for maybe 1,000 years or longer.
Dr. Fitzgerald says you can avoid forever chemicals by eating more fresh foods. He says more research is needed to fully understand PFAs, but in the meantime, your best bet for keeping your pet healthy is regular checkups. There's something that we use every day, and that would be roads. Yet many across the country are in need of repair. On Monday, we're digging into just how deep the problem is and what it's going to take to address the issue.
All right, your weekend does come with some snow showers as we start off our Saturday. Then on Sunday, going into the afternoon, that's where we have that wintry mix over to some rain showers. As temperatures start to warm up, we'll have those highs in the lower 40s Monday and Tuesday, a little bit above average for this time of year. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Now Indy. The news at 6 o'clock starts right now.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
They are not safe. They're not safe walking to school. They're not safe when they're at home at night.
After a shooting that left 4 young adults dead, we are looking deeper into crime plaguing Indianapolis. And tonight we're focusing on the lack of resources available for youth.
I would love to have my personal property back, but that's way far down on my priority list right now.
We examine the gap in Indiana state law to keep guns off the streets.
The forecast focus shifts to some snow overnight tonight into Saturday. We'll talk about how much coming up.
Guns down, guns down.
Put it down! Drop the gun! For the first time, body camera video released of a fatal police-involved shooting in Lafayette. The new details Lafayette police are releasing.
The truck driver charged in an interstate crash, killing a mother and her young twins. Back in court, we will show you what happened. Good evening, I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins. First at 6, tonight we are taking a look at what could be contributing to the rising crime and violence on Indianapolis's northeast side. And local outreach workers tell RTV6 a lack of resources, jobs, and schools may be part of the problem.
Our Megan St-Torum is working for you, finding out that while some IPS schools in that area have closed, other organizations are stepping up to fill the gap.
Megan is at Phelan Leadership Academy near 42nd and Midhofer.
Parents living in this neighborhood say they may not have much when it comes to resources right now, but the few things they do have, like this school, are so important not only for kids, but the community as a whole. Inside these classrooms, you'll find kids looking for hope. They want a place to feel safe and things to do. This school is one of the few places people living in the area have.
I refer to as an ignored and forgotten zip code.
As the city's Peacemakers team walked the scene of the quadruple homicide on Thursday, they said neighborhood schools closing their doors for good could be a contributing factor to crime and violence in the area. Parents we spoke with today agree and say this nonprofit school helps.
Having those types of activities right here in the community definitely makes it easy and convenient to keep your kids out of trouble.
This mother tells us that while it feels the rest of the city has forgotten about this area, those who live it day to day can't forget. And resources like this school make all the difference.
We're there for honor roll ceremonies and things of that nature, so we're definitely invested. We haven't forgotten about us.
School leaders say they're expanding this facility as the need in this neighborhood grows. They're adding new classrooms and a space for the arts, hoping it can be used by more than just students.
We're opening up a performing arts center where they'll be open to the public for theaters and dance and concerts for them to come to. Well, officials allow other schools to close. Just up the road is John Marshall High School. I cannot believe that the government and IPS would allow an asset to just decay and ruin like that.
He says they're working with IPS on an agreement to use the athletic fields at John Marshall. School leaders say they're trying to provide for the community, but there's only so much they can do alone.
I am appalled, and every city and state official should be appalled. These are children and families torn apart by crime. Public safety is that of the government, not of the constituents.
And they need more to bring things to the neighborhood and restore hope.
The time it takes you to commute from one place to the other can really affect your life.
Construction on that arts center is expected to wrap up in the spring. Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
An Indianapolis man says his gun was stolen and he believes it's being resold online. He's now worried where his weapon will land. As RTV6's Troy Washington explains, this same fear pushed the city to pass an ordinance not long ago to try to require gun owners to report stolen or lost firearms. She shows us why it didn't stick, but now some are saying something should be done in order to curb crime.
As the homicide number keeps climbing, it seems guns are finding their way into the wrong hands. And Chris Kearns wants to make sure he's not connected to any crime. But ever since his gun was stolen on Sunday and Wednesday's quadruple deadly shooting took place, he can't stop thinking, what if?
The gun was stolen about a half mile where there's 4 kids were killed 2 nights ago.
He doesn't want to find out that what happened in the 4100 block of Shady Oak Drive is tied to the gun that was stolen from him. It's a dark thought and perhaps not even likely, but the possibility alone scares him.
I really hope and pray that's not the same gun that was used to commit these crimes, but you know, you just never know.
A theft report has been filed, and police say that you should never leave a gun in a vehicle. But Kearns is concerned that there doesn't appear to be much more that can be done.
My first concern is I want illegal guns off the street.
Here in Indiana, gun owners aren't required to report guns lost or stolen. In fact, there are only 11 states that make it a requirement. Back in 2015, the city tried to put a city ordinance in place to cut down on crime after recognizing guns were being stolen, then at an alarming rate. It passed but didn't last because it was believed to violate a state law, denying cities the freedom to make gun laws.
I would love to have my personal property back, but that's way far down on my priority list right now.
He thinks there's a bigger problem in play, like where can a gun owner turn for help if their gun is taken? Kearns did his own research, and he thinks his gun is being resold by an online site. He's pretty certain it's the same gun, but police won't confirm his findings. IMPD told Kearns to reach out to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. The ATF says it does look into gun theft, but typically only from businesses, dealers, or manufacturers. He says he doesn't know who else to try. Working for you, Troy Washington, RTV6.
And RTV6 does not like to give up without a resolution. We will continue to reach out to law enforcement and leaders to find out who can help with stolen gun investigations. And we are working to make sure you know what's happening in your neighborhood. We have a map of all of the homicides in Indianapolis in 2020. We show you where they have happened down to the street. To find this map, just go to our website, theindychannel.com or the RTV6 app. And fixing the deadly violence is going to take all of us. RTV6 wants to help solve this issue with the stories we tell, and we cannot do that without you. If you have been impacted by violence, if you want to share how we can rise above it, send us a message at workingforyou@rtv6.com.
Well, some peaks of sun in central Indiana today, but it's still fairly cold outside. And we are tracking the return of snow.
Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory is here. And Kevin, when can the snow arrive and how long will it last?
We've had a few flurries through the day. Nothing of consequence. It was better to focus on the sunshine, right?
Right, it was.
It's nice to see that, and you can see, looking to the west, a little glow on the horizon. We've had some clouds start to move in. I think what happens is where skies cleared earlier in the western half of the state, the clouds will stream back in ahead of the snow that sits over in Illinois. Probability that you'll have snow at your house tonight goes way up once we get past 11 o'clock, and will peak in the early morning hours, probably by a sunrise or a little after. The bulk of the snow will be pushing off to the east. Doesn't mean we won't have any snow, but I think in general, snow showers will be spotty at best through the rest of the day. Looking at up to an inch of accumulation overnight into the morning hours. There are the flurries that I mentioned, and you can see the clouds that sit right along the Wabash River now. They'll keep coming back in ahead of this area of snow. Forecast then, temperatures won't change a whole lot. We'll drop into to middle 20s in most locations. We're at the freezing mark now. 11 o'clock just to the west of the state line. There's the snow. There it is at 4 a.m. We'll talk about where it'll likely be when you wake up in the morning and finish the weekend forecast for you coming up.
Tonight, new details from Lafayette Police about last month's deadly police-involved shooting. The department released body camera footage and audio. Investigators say Officer Nathan Stone King shot Dustin Furr on January 20th after Furr allegedly walked toward another officer and pointed a handgun. Police say they tried to negotiate with Furr for 11 minutes before Furr allegedly pointed a gun at an officer and police shot and killed him. Today, Lafayette Police released 911 audio where Furr called 911 to tell dispatchers he had a loaded handgun at 23rd and State Street. Police then showed dashcam video of the first responding officers. Finally, Lafayette Police revealed a mix of body camera and dashcam video and showed most of how that incident played out, including the fatal shooting itself. We are not going to show the shooting, but we'll show you a bit of the footage leading up to the incident.
Come on, talk to me, man. What's going on? Why you want to do this? I mean, you got everyone's attention. All you gotta do is drop the gun and we can talk. Or we can talk now with it in your hand. Just do me a favor, just give me some words.
A note here, police kept calling Dustin Furr Chris because there was a suicidal person in that area earlier named Chris, and they say Furr never told them his name, so they assumed he was Chris. After the police-involved shooting, a review board determined officers followed the department's training standards. The Lafayette Police Department says they are proud of how officers handled this situation.
I couldn't be more proud of our police department, the way that our officers responded to this, how quickly they got there, how quickly they established a perimeter. I mean, that is a testament to their years of experience, their training, their expertise, their professionalism.
Another note here, the Lafayette Police Department says they didn't use a taser on Dustin Furr because they say there was not enough time to get that equipment on scene. They tell us this incident happened fast, within 11 minutes from start to finish. And police also say they didn't use a taser because Furr was too far away from officers.
The man accused of killing a mother and her 2 daughters officially pled guilty but mentally ill in court today. Bruce Pollard was driving his semi-truck in a construction zone on I-465 last July when he failed to stop for traffic ahead of him. He hit a total of 7 cars, killing Elena Coons and her twin daughters, June and Ruby. Theirs was the first car that was hit and burst into flames. Today, Pollard's attorney worked out a deal with the prosecutor where he pled guilty, claiming he is mentally ill. Pollard has been evaluated and determined to have a history of mental illness.
He clearly should not have been driving a 60,000-pound heavy truck on the interstate highways in July of 2019. He shouldn't have been driving. And that's another question in this case. How did he obtain his CDL license, and why was he allowed to drive?
Pollard will be sentenced on March 27th. He faces 3 counts of reckless homicide, 1 count of reckless operation of a vehicle in a highway work zone, and 7 counts of reckless driving, not obeying highway warning signs.
5 people have been arrested and dozens of pounds of drugs are now off the streets after a drug trafficking sting. The U.S. Attorney's Office says the 5 suspects are accused of running a drug trafficking operation in both Anderson and Indianapolis. All 5 have been indicted on charges of conspiracy and drug distribution, as well as a charge of unlawful use of a communication facility. During the course of the investigation, investigators seized 25 pounds of methamphetamine, 50 pounds of marijuana, and 10 pounds of cocaine. Some good traffic news tonight on the north side.
A bridge has reopened in a very busy area after being closed for 10 months. This tops the RTV6 news feed. Within the last hour, NDOT reopened the Ditch Road Bridge over I-465. Crews closed it in March of 2019 in order to replace the entire bridge. The project is finally finished, and the Ditch Road Bridge over I-465 is back open.
Muncie police have arrested a man after a late-night shooting that left another man dead outside of a Walmart. This happened just after 11:15 last night at the Walmart at East 20 29th and South Macedonia Avenue. Muncie police say EMS workers found Chase Woolumf on the scene with a gunshot wound. He later died at a hospital. Officers say the victim had agreed to meet Justin Bennett in the parking lot to settle a dispute. Bennett was later arrested after a short police chase. Police also arrested a woman who was a passenger in his car.
A teenager is in the hospital after he was shot by an employee while trying to rob an AutoZone store. Metro Police say this happened on the northwest side at the AutoZone near North Michigan Road and West 75th Street around 9:30 last night. Police say the employee pulled out a gun and fired shots at two people trying to hold up the store. Both of the suspects ran away, but the wounded suspect was later found by police at a home in the area. He is expected to be okay.
Federal investigators now confirm the helicopter that crashed killing NBA legend Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and 7 others did not show any evidence of engine failure. That's according to the National Transportation Safety Board. The helicopter crashed into a hillside outside of Los Angeles on January 26th. The NTSB is investigating the accident, including any role heavy fog may have played, and a final report is not expected for at least a year.
More flu deaths reported in Indiana. The Indiana State Department of Health says there are now 50 Hoosiers dead this season because of the flu. That's up from 45 last week. Most people dying from the flu are 65 and older. Doctors say it is not too late to get your flu shot. Dave?
And I'm Dave First. How about girls sectional semifinals tonight, kicking off a very, very big weekend. We're live tonight at Tech High School. That and more coming up here at RTV6.
Lots going on in the forecast through the weekend. One thing that will kick up on Sunday will be the wind, gust to 30 miles per hour. We'll talk about other changes as well.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
And this is a Friday night as well. We'll talk about the changes into the weekend, but here's one area of light snow moving our way. As I mentioned, I think it arrives as we get closer to midnight, maybe 11 o'clock right along the state line with Illinois. Put this in motion while you're sleeping. Light snow and at times maybe a good burst of snow. Accumulations will be an inch or less, it looks like. That's 4 a.m. By 7 a.m. The first half of that bulk of snow is into the eastern portion of the state and making its way into Ohio. These are the latest kind of estimates as far as snowfall potential. A good solid ½ an inch to an inch in most areas. We may melt some of that off during the day tomorrow as temperatures warm to 35. Once the morning snow is over, doesn't mean we won't have any additional snow. I think we'll continue to see some snow showers through the day. Sunday will end up warmer, and the second half of the day will be the most active. That's when we'll inherit some snow and rain, changing to primarily rain at least for a few hours. Forecast tomorrow morning, 24 degrees. We wake up to the snow, especially eastern half of the state, 31 by noon. Through the afternoon hours, just spotty snow showers and the temperature around 35 degrees. Finishing the timeline, 7 a.m. eastern half of the state with a steadier snow. That moves to the east. Then as we go through the day, 1 o'clock to about 4, there are your spotty snow showers. And by 7 o'clock, fewer snow showers around. Temperatures just a little below average for this time of year in the low to mid 30s. As we get to Sunday, remember we're dry up until 1, maybe 4 o'clock. Then you see the area pushing into northwest Indiana by 4 with a little rain in the south of Interstate 70 and then snow north. It becomes primarily rain at least for a few hours as the warmer air winds out. Then that will push to the east. Also coming up besides our rain and snow chances Sunday will be the wind gusts, as I mentioned, jumping to around 30 miles per hour. Hourly forecast, the morning hours are dry. The afternoon and evening hours when we begin to see our wintry mix. Temperatures around 40 degrees. We'll be up and over 40 degrees early next week. 7-day forecast. Don't be surprised for your Saturday snow. You'll see the evidence there in the morning. That wintry mix arrives later in the day Sunday. Monday, Tuesday should be basically dry. Then the temperatures warm to 42 Wednesday. Right now, Valentine's Day, dry and 32 degrees. You can go out, go to dinner with confidence.
With a coat on. Yeah. Right. All right. Thanks, Kevin. Well, big night for high school hoops tonight.
Dave is live tonight at Arsenal Tech High School.
Playoff time already, guys. Girls sectional semifinals tonight. We're live at Tech. 8th-ranked LN taking on Warren Central. That's the game just underway. It's a 5-point game right now in the first quarter. North Central Cathedral in the nightcap. Scores the highlights for you tonight at 11 o'clock. Meanwhile, we'll take you down to, just about a mile away. The Pacers back at it. Victor Oladipo last Wednesday had that 1-point loss in Toronto. They got a rematch tonight. And Vic's not exactly shooting as well as he would have liked the first 4 games back since he made that return just over a week ago. Shooting 25% from the field, 19% from behind the arc. Certainly a lot of adjustments that Vic is making. He might get T.J. Warren back tonight. He's missed a few games with that concussion.
He still hasn't played with T.J. Warren, so you just have to be patient with it. It's nothing. It's no different than if you were starting the season and a new group of guys are out there. The timing, where they're going to be, the trust factor, all of that, you have to build and you have to work on.
That's an 8 o'clock tip tonight in college hoop. Oh, it's a game that's been circled on the calendar for a while now. IU hosting Purdue tomorrow afternoon. Purdue, of course, comes off that lopsided win over Iowa last Wednesday. And IU has enjoyed some time off. Hasn't played since last weekend after a stretch where they were practicing or playing games in about 13 straight days. So some time off. Did the guys good, Coach?
It doesn't mean you're going to play well. It doesn't mean that you're going to have guys, whatever. But I just think from a physical standpoint of being able to recover a little bit, give Race Thompson a few more days to try and, get his leg. You need as much, many weapons as you can on game day.
And if that wasn't enough tomorrow, football is back. Yeah, the XFL makes its return and debut tomorrow afternoon right here at RTV6 at ABC. The DC Defenders hosting the Seattle Dragons at 2. Some new rules, some familiar local faces as well. Oliver Luck is the XFL commissioner. Yesterday talked to us about his son, Andrew. Yep, the former Colts quarterback doing just fine, apparently, in retirement.
My son Andrew is happy in his retirement. He and his wife just had a little baby about 3 months ago, and we spent a lot of time together over the holidays, my wife and I, and his growing family. I've not noticed any inkling that he's desirous of getting back into the NFL. He seems to be very happy and still follows the game. He's been a little bit of an unofficial sounding board for me as I ask him questions. He knows the vast majority of players in our league, so he's given me some good advice as we've gone through the process the last couple of years. But I see no desire for him to get back into football right now.
All right, so no surprise there from Oliver. Hey, finally for tonight, first and foremost from downtown today, IndyCar season can't be too far away with some IndyCar car unveilings. Today, the Aero McLaren SP IndyCar team unveiling their new look for rookie drivers Oliver Askew and Pato O'Ward. Gilles de Ferran is in charge of the program. Remember, McLaren missed the Indy 500 last May.
I'm emotional. This is I guess, the official start of a journey that really goes back several months now. And it's a very emotional time. Really looking forward to the journey ahead.
And Daytona qualifying this weekend. Racing season slowly getting back up to speed. First quarter just wrapped up. Warren Central up 1. The News at 6 continues after this.
The RTV6 photo of the day. This freezing cold picture is from Ryan McLean, a director here at RTV6.
In this one photograph of his mailbox, Ryan captured the essence of the kind of weather we've been dealing with for the past few days.
Frigid. It's the perfect example of what winter is typically like in Indiana. Hey, email your photo of the day to news@WRTV.com.
It's proof again. Mailman always delivers. Go Red for Women Day. That's the staff here at RTV6 all dressed up. American Heart Association's national movement to end heart disease and strokes.
That's right. We all wore red.
Thanks
See
for
you at
joining
7.
us.